Security governance and operating model design is the next list of skills that are highly sought after as part of the overall skill set for a GRC professional, following after audit readiness and evidence management, control mapping and control library management, risk assessment, and risk register operations. Great. So when we think of this particular skill set, then you are thinking of someone who has the ability to define how decisions are made in an organization in terms of committees or charters, the three lines alignment, risk acceptance, processes, policies or standards, hierarchy, and reporting cadences within an organization. So at this particular point in terms of security governance and operating uh, model design, then you're operating more at a mid to senior level role within an organization. So this is particularly important to employers based on the fact that in mature companies or mature organizations or businesses, governance is the mechanism to convert risk insights into decisions. Regulators increasingly ask about governance within organizations. So this is one of those skills areas that are highly valued by employers to have people who have that skill to establish that level of governance hierarchy, that governance machinery as part of the overall GRC program in an organization. As I've often said that without governance is the glue between your risk and your compliance components. Without proper governance, then everything that you do will fall apart. And typically, at a proficiency level, then if you're undertaking this or developing this skill set at an entry level, then pretty much you are required to understand governance artifacts. At a mid level, for example, a GRC lead, then you're required to run governance routines. At a senior level, you're required to design or iterate governance system and board reporting within an organization. So a typical interview scenario or job scenario could be that you're required to create or show the various steps or the thought process that goes into creating a charter for a cyber risk committee and define decision thresholds for risk acceptance and escalation. So let us shift gears right into looking at this particular task. So this is where we are at in terms of the top 22 skill sets. So we have quite a far way to go. So far we have covered three. We are now at four, and this is the exercise. Create a charter for a cyber risk committee and define decisions thresholds for risk acceptance and escalation. So in the next segment, we're going to be looking at what do we mean by a charter and also to look at the overall breakdown and design or the approach that we could use or the things that we need to understand when it comes down to developing a charter that can be used to address this particular scenario if asked within a job interview session.